CIL650, in association with Tom Lucas Productions, presents Radio Real Estate.
Our house in the middle of us.
And now, here are your hosts, Bill Macklem, Andrea Jack, and Tom Lucas.
Well, it's that time once again. We're all together here in the on-air open house. Bill, good to see you.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
It feels so early.
Isn't it? It's a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, the sun woke me up this morning. It was just so gorgeous. I'm waking up earlier and earlier every day, and it feels good.
Well, then you should join me at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I could, actually.
You could. You should. And Andrea Jog, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too.
How are you?
Great, thanks. Hi, Bill.
Morning.
Morning, afternoon, evening.
Well, it's morning, evening, afternoon. It depends because people listen to the show online, right?
This is
Exactly.
true.
It doesn't matter what time it is.
Any time of day you want. And
All right.
we should
Let's say afternoon.
let's say hello to Dwayne. 1, 2, 3. Hello,
Hi,
Dwayne.
Hi, everybody.
Dwayne's our producer. He keeps us going on the show. What a week it's been for real estate and for mortgages, huh? Holy cow.
Jeez, did you hear this? The sky's falling? I saw some chickens running up down the road. They had their heads chopped off.
Did it hit you on the head?
No.
No.
Not yet. I ducked.
Bill Macklem is president of the Dominion Macklem Mortgages, and our radio real estate mortgage expert is on the show this morning. You hear? And we're going to be talking about those rate increases with somebody from another mortgage company from Toronto, right?
We're going to talk to Janine White with Rate Supermarket, and she's got some really good ideas, and she's talking about in the Ontario market. So we're going to kind of do a West Coast, East Coast, or Central Canada kind of comparison.
Good stuff. Looking forward to that. And what else are you going to be chatting about later on in the program?
I'm going to go a little bit over. I mean, you hear all this stuff about the rates, and we want to put some calmness into the market, so to speak. Yeah,
Breathe.
Take a deep breath, step back.
Okay.
Let's get some reality to this thing.
Okay.
I had really busy open houses. No one really kind of brought too much up to me about the rate change.
Really?
No.
No, it's not affecting us as much as I
No.
would have thought.
That's because we're all rich out here in the West Coast.
No, we're scared.
Oh, scary.
We're scared.
Andrea, what else is going on?
Our radio real estate home handyman, Finn Jensen, takes a look at real estate and fires.
We'll be talking building with Mark Jock, CEO of Markcroft Homes, our radio real estate home specialist. And he's such a fabulous guy.
I understand you were talking to Mark this past week at your place.
Yeah, I had him over on Thursday, him and his wife, Vic. They were, what a great couple. What a great couple. So we chatted, and we had a couple of refreshments, and we had dinner together. And he's such a great guy, and he obviously knows this stuff because we were talking generally, and he kept on going back to housing and how to build and style and all that kind of stuff.
He does know his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Absolutely. If you missed one of our segments of the program, please go to the Radio Real Estate Show website, which is radiorealestateshow.ca. Download one of the podcasts, right, Andrea?
Right.
All right. What else
Monica
is going on?
Dina Briga, president of Mummy Maids, has, you know what? I'm missing her environmentally friendly stuff. Has a few tips for us on how to take care of that pile of laundry.
The Bank of Canada has raised their rates this past week. Andrea and Bill and I will chat with Janine White from the ratesupermarket.ca about what this means for the average consumer. And we'll also be talking with Randy Riles of Royal LePage about their second quarter house price survey.
Our mortgage question of the week is coming up. Have a question for Bill? Please leave it on our website, radiorealestateshow.ca.
Okay, Billy, in briefly now, where do the rates stand as we speak?
Rates are still good. Rates are still good. Like there's still some lenders out there that are providing some hot rates, I call them, because of CMHC insured, they're high ratio. The banks will give those particular lenders will give you a better rate because it's insured, so therefore they have less likelihood of losing their investment if something goes wrong with the property. So those rates are still good. 5-year close, you're probably looking about 2.74 to 2.79 on a 5-year fix. That's up from we had some really hot rates at 2.59 about 2 weeks ago. 2.74. I mean, anything less than 3%. I'm sorry to tell you, that's like stealing.
Let me ask you the question. The rates have gone up a wee bit. Where's that extra money going?
Well, these rates here, these fixed rates here, are going in one place, but the variable rates go to the banks.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah.
They need the money, do they?
Well, they're very poor.
I understand. So we'll be talking a lot about mortgages and more rates and things all during the show this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever. You got me doing it.
I got you to do the same thing. Sorry about that.
You got me doing it. In the next segment of the program, Bill will answer the mortgage question of the week, and we'll speak with Mark Jock, the CEO of Markcroft Homes. And what are we talking about today, Andrea?
Today he's going to talk about deck treatment, so all the different types of ways you can finish off your deck space, whether
That'd be
it's stamped
great.
concrete or...
Wow. You're listening to Vancouver's original on-air open house, Radio Real Estate on CIL650.
CIL650.
We get better. We
Stacks and stacks of letters.
And the letters say, Dear Bill, why are you wearing that sweater? It's summertime, but it is a summer sweater, right?
It's a summer sweater, summertime.
And the living is easy. We should mention to folks that are tuning in for the first time that Bill wears this. You're kind of like Perry Como.
Kind of. A larger version.
Well, you're still living, and that's one thing that's good.
That's a good thing.
He always wore a sweater, and he was relaxed and casual when he took a
And the
rest.
rocking chair. Didn't he have a rocking chair?
Well, that may have been Arthur Treacher. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I do have a question for you, Bill.
This week's question comes from Brina McIntyre of Surrey. Brina would like to know, what are the typical prepayment privileges available with a mortgage?
Well, thanks, Andrew. That's a good question from Brina, because it's important to know what these are. You may not always want to take advantage of them, or you may not always be able to take advantage of them, but you can increase your payments. Well, let's start one step back. You can go bi-weekly. That's one of the first things you should do. If you get paid on every 2-week basis, make your payments bi-weekly. Let's not become financial gurus or use a calculator and an abacus to try to figure out how you're going to make your mortgage payments. Let's just make it easy. Take your payment, divide it in half, put it into your bi-weekly payments. You're going to cut off between 1 to 4 years off your mortgage, depending on what you're doing. So that's one way to get prepayment, gets things moving in the right direction. You can also increase your payments by 15%. By increasing your payment by 15%, you'll cut off a few more years off of that. You can make lump sums of 15%. Most banks want you to do it on the anniversary date of when you took out the mortgage, but some banks will allow you, as long as it's a minimum of an extra $500 payment on any payment date. So let's say you got a bonus, you got a gift, Revenue Canada sent you a refund, you can put that down on your mortgage and you can pay it off. So those are a couple of them. Some of them will allow you to do match a payment. So like Scotiabank has this match a payment, miss a payment. So you have to match it first before you can miss it. You can't miss it and then match it. No, you have to be ahead of the game before they'll allow you to do that.
That makes sense.
So those are kind of things that are generally off the top. There are some lenders that allow you to do 20 and 20, which means you increase by 20%, make a lump sum against your principal by 20%. That's pretty aggressive. I mean, you talk about average mortgage around $400,000. That's $80,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Most of us are lucky enough to make our payments and raise our kids and pay for daycare and pay the taxes and all that kind of stuff and the road, whatever.
For expert mortgage information online, visit BillyMac.com. That's Billy with an I, not a Y, MAC.com, or call Bill at 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
Well, we have to build a house, but first of all, we've got to sing our song.
Him laughing in the background.
You like that tune, eh, Mark?
Oh, man. Buttercup, eh?
I worked hard on that all week long. Come on, buddy.
Tom, I love it. That brings back memories again.
Build me up, Buttercup. I understand you're going to build Bill's home. You had him over to your place this past week.
Yeah, we had dinner with him.
We had Tom. Bill is a consummate chef. He put together a seafood bouillabaisse to die for. Great job, Bill.
Thanks so much.
Wait a second. Mark, last time Bill had me over for dinner, we had hot dogs. What are you talking about?
You qualified for a hot dog?
Yeah, well.
Well, I don't know. It was a wonderful night, and speaking about decks, so what do you want to talk about decks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bill's new home has 2 amazing decks overlooking, of course, southern exposure looking over the ocean. So now, Bill, have you given any thought to the kind of decking treatments that you want to incorporate in your plan?
No, we were going to be talking to you about that. We thought you'd be the best person to ask.
Well, then I'll tell you what we're going to have to do immediately, because you've got you're at the structural engineering phase of your plan, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to probably recommend a few changes to the architectural plan, I think for the good. But as far as the decking goes, you have choices between a number of different surfaces, but they all require different structural requirements. So if you want to have a concrete deck, now I don't know if you've thought about this.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, the whole thing has to be structurally designed, and then membraned. Okay, so we do a torch-on membrane, and then we pour the concrete. Or as an alternative, you keep in mind you need to have a slope on your deck of about 1/4 of an inch per foot.
Yep.
So if you're dealing with I think you're 30 feet out, aren't you?
Yes.
Right, that's a massive deck. So we're looking at about a 7-inch slope from front to back.
Wow.
Okay, now, as an alternative, which might be a little bit more money, we're still going to go and do the membrane torch on, but we taper, we taper our floor, our kind of like a floor joist or a deck joist. So it's tapered out, reverse taper, coming off the threshold, coming out where you walk out of your sliding doors.
Okay.
Then we can actually create pretty much a flat level decking area from front to back by tapering those tapers and making up that 7-inch flow. You following me?
Yep.
So that surface now can be a surface like a Trex decking. There's a lot of composite decking out there. Timber Tech is another one where you don't have to resurface, you don't have to be sanding, and you don't have to be staining that product for years. So it has a wonderful look. You can match your color tones to your siding, and we like to try and match that look to the interior flooring of your house. So once again, you're bringing that kind of color and feel of the inside to the outside.
Now, Mark, it's been so long since I've been over to Bill's house, but Bill, if memory serves me correctly, you live on a hill, don't you?
Yes.
So, Mark, is it different if you have to build a deck or a patio on a hill as opposed to a flat surface?
Well, no, I mean, let's say if you have a flat surface, well, then you're going to benefit on your lower level. Definitely on your lower level is going to be a concrete patio of some form, right?
Right.
So the Bill has a 3-level situation. His lowest level will have the concrete pad for his potentially for the tenants if he chooses to have them, and for his own livability. The middle floor then and the upper floor are the areas that we're dealing with that, of course, gain the height because of the slope, but they'll walk. You have a walkout from your middle and upper level.
So when you're talking about these kind of decks, then, like, one of the things that I always find surprising, I guess because I've lived in Manitoba and then I've moved out here, is that I've seen people put wood on their decks or wood on the outside of their house, and I'm looking to myself like, we don't really have a long recreational summertime, so why would I want to be spending all my time staining and sanding, and like that seems like, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm looking for something that's like either zero maintenance or no maintenance.
Absolutely. Now, the other thing is, if you're not worried about a little bit of sloping on your deck, because for the runoff, you can put a Duradeck product on, which is like a very 60 mil vinyl deck. Probably that is the least expensive way of going. You plywood your surfaces with your joists with a 3/4 inch plywood topping. Then you put your basically roll on your vinyl. But that's very easy care too. You just hose that down. The only potential downside of that is that it could be subject to, if somebody unfortunately smokes or drops a cigarette or there's a very sharp instrument or could potentially cause that surface to either melt or scar. Then you're dealing with a bit of a correction.
Yeah, we had that with our present deck. We had a wedding party, and some ashes got dropped, and I would definitely not do that again. The other thing I wouldn't do as well is that you have some metal things on the deck. Might be a stand for your patio umbrella or whatever.
Right.
And it'll stain, right?
Yes. So those are the things that probably the negative aspect to me of vinyl decking. It's a permanent issue when you're dealing with concrete or your Trex or your ability to be able to flatten out your deck and have a level surface so you don't have any sloping. All of those factors come into play, as well as how much, again, the budget. There's we have to also look at your railing treatments.
Yes.
We do a lot of fascia mount, mounting of our posts, and you can have actually completely glass decking in your case, where there'd be no post treatments whatsoever, just glass.
Wow.
Now, Mark, before you build Bill's new deck, you have to promise me that you're going to make something that I'm not going to hurt myself when I go into his kitchen to get another hot dog. That's my life story.
Well, you're talking about tripping on a threshold.
I guess so.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that, the municipalities have a variety of different compliances to that threshold. Some are very adamant that they want to see a drop of about 2.5 to 3 inches going to your surface. So those things have to be checked out with your municipalities.
Well, I don't know, Mark, but every time I go over there, his wife calls me a hot dog, so there you go. What's your number? Somebody wants to get a hold of you and talk about decks over the week.
Okay, 604-461-2560.
All right, that number again is?
604-461-2560.
All right, and as soon as the deck is built, you're invited over for din-dins.
Lovely.
I'll talk to you next week.
Very good, Bill. Thanks again for the lovely night, Bill.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Good meeting you and Vig. Thanks, eh?
All right, there goes Mark Jock. He is the president and the CEO of Mark Craft Homes. Give him a call, and he'll take good care of you, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. Coming up in the program, Randy Riles will be here. He's with Royal LePage. We're going to talk about their second quarter house price survey, and we'll be speaking with Janine White of RateSupermarket.ca about the Bank of Canada rate rise this past week.
This is Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, with Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing, producer Dwayne Bishop, and Tom Lucas. You're listening to Radio Real Estate on Vancouver's original on-air open house on CL 650.
CL 650. She's a brick house. She's 1990, just letting it all hang out. She's a brick house. I like lady stack, that's the fact.
Well, maybe it's a brick house, maybe it's a wooden house, maybe it's a house of cards. We'll find out. Let's welcome Randy Riles to the program. Randy's been on with us before. He's with Royal LePage Real Estate. Randy, we're going to talk about the second quarter house price survey. How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm wonderful. Bill, how are you?
I'm great, buddy. And Randy, I'm looking forward to talking about some of these news stats that are in your report. They are fabulous.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah. So what's new? What's going on with housing across the nation?
Well, across the nation, that's a harder question. It depends where you're talking about. But, Toronto is sort of going through what we did in the second half of last year right now for the same reason, which is very interesting. But Vancouver, we've made quite a nice comeback, I have to say, from the second half of last year. It was looking a little bit scary, I suppose, but all of those buyers that kind of went to the sidelines and took that wait and see looks to us like they've all kind of come back into the marketplace. And really good volume, and prices are on the rise. So
we're back into a summer seller's market, correct, Randy?
Yeah, for sure. Once the snow went away, kind of around February, all of those people just got right back to it, and they've been buying in pretty good numbers ever since.
Well, we have a number of pre-approval that we deal with a fair number of past clients and realtors, and so we do a lot of pre-approvals, and we must have a couple of drawer full of people that are still looking and haven't found one. We had just had a client make an offer last night, and they've been looking for 6 months. They live up in Coquitlam, and they sold their place at a really good price, obviously, and now they're buying down the valley, and it's taking them this long to find a place. They're almost going to be homeless.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be a buyer. That's for sure. There's, especially in the condo market, you're competing on just about every transaction, and so for every one person that's able to buy something, 5 or 6 of them are going home empty-handed.
I guess it's just the supply is so low.
It is. Our market is very much a story about just chronic undersupply, right? And so it's a tough time, especially if you're a first-timer and you don't have a lot of nerve. It's a nervy market to work in.
Well, we had a client of ours who was dealing with one of our realtors, and not Andrea this time, but most times it's Andrea, and they were talking about it in their open house. They had 60 people through, and it came in at $80,000 over list, and that was a condo.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. There's some remarkable stories like that for sure.
Randy, if you're looking for a good deal, what's the best part of the Lower Mainland to look around in?
Well, if you are well-heeled, there's some pretty good deals probably in West Vancouver.
Oh, Tom, you can look at there, Tom.
It's really probably the only part of the Lower Mainland's market that's showing any kind of a decline in price. But, they're coming down off of some just remarkably high numbers,
It's
right?
funny that you said that. I just actually had a showing with a West Vancouver agent yesterday, and she said the same thing. Exact.
Yeah.
I
But,
guess-
the rest of the Lower Mainland is doing very well, to say the least. I mean, some of them are just remarkable. Year-over-year price change in North Vancouver for condos is 24.3%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And,
Where can you get that kind of investment return?
not in the stock market.
I think the Royal Bank's offering it 2%. If you put money in for 4 months, you'll get 2% on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Randy, let's quickly go through the areas. What about West Point Grey? Is that still pretty expensive to live up there?
Yeah, the West End, of course, is extremely expensive. Again, you're just coming down very, very slightly from some extremely high numbers there.
Mm-hmm.
The two-story price there is about $2.2 million. It's just remarkable, some of the prices that you see in the West End or West Vancouver. Even North Vancouver's quite expensive. But there's some real bargain areas too. Surrey, you can still buy a single-family house there for $850,000, or for a smaller one, sort of in the mid 700s probably. So there's still some opportunities there, but they're starting to go away.
What's really scary is I grew up in West Point Grey, and my parents bought a home up there, I think, for $12,000, and then they sold it in the 80s for over $100,000, or it was $1 million rather.
Really?
Yeah.
Just crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely remarkable. A friend of mine, I sold into a house in 1999 in Central Coquitlam for $252,000, and we just sold it for $1.6 million.
Wow.
That's just amazing.
How about Maple Ridge area? Like that seems to be more and more people looking out that way. What with the Evergreen Line and the West Coast Express, so there's more access to the city if they want to go to work.
Yeah, there's if you're willing to drive a little bit, there's more opportunities there for for houses that are not going to be quite as expensive. That's for sure. And so, if you're out in Maple Ridge, let me just look it up here for you. Maple Ridge, median price for a single-family house, a detached house in Maple Ridge is now $830,000. So, way cheaper than Coquitlam or anything on this side of the Pitt River.
And of course, there's a real push in that Chilliwack area as well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the valley is very busy.
There seems to be a lot of building going on. Do you think that's going to affect the price of housing?
Well, I don't think there's anywhere near enough building going on. So until they really start to catch up on supply, I don't see it having much of an effect.
Well, there's a statement out there that says that we expect 1 million people to move here by 2040, and that would make about 500,000 homes required for that group of people. And to do that, we'd have to start building an extra 2,000 homes a month starting now.
Yeah, well, that's just it. When you look at the demographic predictions for the Lower Mainland, they're talking about adding another 1 million.
Yeah.
Not next year,
No.
but certainly in the next decade or so. And so it's like, where are we going to put all these people?
Where are you going to put me when I get old, Randy? Where are you going to put me when I get old?
Put you in our basement suite.
Oh, that's good.
There's going to be some nice places in Saskatoon.
Randy, I'll be calling you. Don't you worry. You can set me up. Randy, if somebody would like to talk about house price survey, how can they get a hold of to the office? What's your number over there?
604-421-1010.
That is RoyalLePage.ca.
RoyalLePage.ca is our Canada-wide site for searching for houses, but our website in Port Moody is sterlingrealty.ca.
Fantastic. Randy, you have yourself a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of it.
Thanks, fellas. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Happy weekend to you, and we'll talk to you again next, shortly.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you.
Take care.
There's Randy Riles. He's with Royal LePage, and it's out in the Tri-Cities, eh?
Yeah, I heard that.
That's pretty cool.
So that's interesting stuff. I mean, it is really true. There's 1 million people coming here by 2040, and they've done the stats, and they said if they require 500,000 homes, you divide that by the number of year from now to then. That means an extra 2,000 homes a month have to be built starting now to accommodate those people.
So when they buy my place then, and I move into the old guy's house, it's going to cost me a lot more money to do so, right?
No, because you're going to make a whole lot more money.
Oh,
on
I
your
got
place.
you. I got you. Okay.
You could retire then.
Well, this past week has been rather interesting here in the West Coast. The Bank of Canada raised its rates. So what does this mean for us? Let's welcome Janine White to the show. She's with RateSupermarket.ca. Let's chat about the mortgages. Good morning. How are you, Janine?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you. And thank you for joining us today.
Anytime.
Now, listen, we want to talk about what's going on with the mortgages. I have a mortgage broker here, so I get probably about the most of you talk back and forth. But first of all, this hasn't really happened, I guess, for many, many years. About first time in 7 years?
First time in 7 years.
Wow.
Hey, Janine, it's Bill here. So
How
I
are
guess you must have seen that article that if the rates have gone up, so therefore people are going to have to sell their homes, and because nobody can afford them anymore, they're going to drop in value, and therefore it's going to. So I guess what I'm saying is it's the sky is falling, the chickens got their heads cut off, running up and down the streets.
I don't think the sky is falling quite yet. I mean,
No.
considering we're in such a low interest rate environment, and this is a 25 basis point increase, not quite sky is falling territory yet. But I do think it's interesting because there's many analysts that do predict that there will be more rate increases to come over the next couple of years. So 25 basis points may not be a lot to worry about, but I think it would be prudent for people to start having a look at what their debt can take if it raises another point or 2 percentage points even.
Janine, I'm just curious. Why did they raise the rents anyway, the rates anyway?
Well, I think, when you're looking at a Bank of Canada rate increase, it's actually meaning that the economy is going really well. They're trying to obviously control inflation because they try to peg inflation at 2%. While the inflation's not quite that high, they are looking at some indicators in the economy and going, hey, this inflation is going to approach our benchmark. We need to control it. It is a good sign for the economy overall.
Hi, Janine and Sandra here. Question,
Hi there.
Who will be impacted?
So first and foremost, it's your variable mortgage rate holders that will be impacted. So they will see, because of course the prime rate changed immediately as soon as the Bank of Canada. It happens within 12 to 24 hours by all the big banks. So any of your variable rate mortgage holders will see an immediate increase in the interest portion of their payment. So that's the first.
So those new rates how will they affect the impact of the homeowners that we're looking at?
So if for every 25 basis point increase on a variable mortgage, a good sort of mathematical rule of thumb, for every $250,000, so if you're looking at a Vancouver, you're probably looking at about a triple that. The mortgage brokers probably would have a better number on that. For every $250,000, you're looking at about $50 extra a month. Depending on the type of depending on how much of a mortgage debt you're carrying, that gives you a good indication of what your monthly impact is going to be as to money out of pocket.
Now, Janine, what does this mean for Canada's economy overall?
Well, it is an indicator that the economy is going well. So, like I said, I think that's positive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not an economist, so I can't. There's so many related things, and it gets so complicated. But at the end of the day, there is for your personal debt, your personal finances, how it impacts us personally. You do have obviously the negative of high debt holders. If it's in a variable rate, that you're going to see the price, your debt load, your monthly payments increase. But for those of us that maybe have a bit of savings, it's actually not bad. There's a little bit of more payback on some savings accounts, although still really, really small. So from a personal perspective, there's a little bit of both.
Now, will other banks follow suit?
All the banks have already followed suit. So all the big five have already increased their prime rate by the same amount. And so we see prime rate at 2.95 now, up from 2.7, which is typically what they do anytime the Bank of Canada will move that rate. They'll move in steady course. So obviously then it's not just mortgages, it's your variable rate line of credit, any loans that are pegged to prime interest rate.
Isn't that interesting that the banks didn't give us the full discounts on the drops over the last couple of years?
Taking it on the up.
But we're getting it the other side. But it's not about profit, though, right?
Yeah, agreed. I think the last time they dropped, when the Bank of Canada dropped by a quarter percentage point, 25 basis points, I believe the banks came down by 15 basis points and kept that extra 10. So, yes, full 25 basis points on the way up.
Yeah. Now, Janine, as a consumer, what should I be watching for, do you think?
Well, I think from a consumer standpoint, I think you go back to the fact that this is the first of what many predict is probably a few rate increases. 25 basis points isn't a lot, but it's probably time to have a look at your mortgage, your debt portfolio overall, and do what they call a stress test. If the rate is 2 percentage points higher in a couple of years, how is that going to impact your overall debt and your monthly payments out? Because what you'd want to do is if that's really burdensome, which I think the Canadian government does say that there are Canadians that fall in that bracket, that a couple of percentage points increase will hurt. Now is the time to be a little bit proactive because you can start to manage it right now. So you may want to look at taking that variable rate mortgage and flipping it to a fixed one that you're comfortable with the payments. You may want to make sure you're paying down your most expensive debt so that you're only left with the debt that's least expensive for you. It's a really good time to do that for consumers. Janine,
we have two mortgage brokers on the show, yourself and, of course, Bill Macklem. And did you guys have like a heads up this was coming?
Yeah, we kind of knew it was coming. There was enough information coming from the other banks to suggest that Polas was going to raise the rates. You not agree, Janine?
No, agreed, yes. So it was very widely predicted that this would increase. That's why I say when the analysts look out and say, hey, it's probably going to have a few more increases, that's why now is the time to sort of get smart on your finances and take some moves.
We're suggesting to our clients to, if they don't want to go from the variable to a fixed, is to look at the worst case scenario fixed and make their payments equivalent to that. So therefore, they're getting used to the fact of having a higher payment, but they're actually paying down their mortgage at the same time.
Absolutely, that's great advice, and way that it's almost similar to that stress test I was talking about, which is if you can manage that and you can change other factors so that you can manage that higher payment, then you're good. And if you have to make a couple of other changes to make sure that payment is managed, your mortgage payment's the most important one. So that one you do have to start with that. So I think that's great advice.
Janine, I think the average person understands it just a little more clearly now. So thank you very much for being with us on the program today.
Thanks for having me.
Janine, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of it. It's ratesupermarket.ca. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, right, the telephone number's on the website.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Janine, thank you.
Have a great day.
You
Thanks,
too.
Janine.
Bye-bye. Janine White, there she goes.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, huh? Nice stuff.
Smart lady.
Information.
You betcha. Now, this past week, as you know, the bank rates were raised, and we say it's not like Chicken Little. Don't worry, the sky's not falling. It's not hitting us on the head just yet. I have another question, but I'll ask you a little later on in the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
All right. So we're going to be carrying on with the program in just a second here. And coming up with the next portion of the program, what do we have?
In our next segment, Monica Dino Briga, president of Mummy Maids, has a few tips on how to take care of that pile of dirty laundry.
Oh, my goodness. I just call Monica and she comes over and does the wash.
I need some help with that. I've been so busy lately.
I'll give you Monica's number after the show.
Piling up right now.
Okay.
Wow.
More real estate information is coming right up at Vancouver's original on-air open house.
This is Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, with Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing, producer Dwayne Bishop, and director of Host Development, and the illustrious Tom Lucas. You're listening to Radio Real Estate on CL 650.
CL 650. The clean-up woman, but she's tough. I mean, she really cleans up.
She's tough. She really cleans up. Well, I called Monica the other day and I said, Monica, I've got this big pile of you-know-what in the corner. Can you come right over? And she said to me,
today we're talking about your laundry. I can't stress enough how important it is. Wet laundry left in the machine, even for a short amount of time, can cause germs to flourish, especially in this heat. You should transfer clean clothes to the dryer immediately after each wash. If clothes sit in the washer for more than 30 minutes, you may want to run a second cycle. If using a laundromat or a shared laundry facility, clean the washer drum with a disinfectant wipe. Be sure to wipe down all surfaces, especially public ones, before folding clean clothes. Don't leave wet clothing on the floor, and do your laundry as often as possible to prevent the smell of mold on your clothes and ruining them. Wet towels are the worst. This is Monica DeNavarga for Radio Real Estate.
Mommy Maids will clean your castle with no hassle. Call Monica at 604-533-4959, 604-533-4959, or visit mommymaids.com. That's mommymaids.com.
Now I think I know what it means when my mom used to say you acted like a wet pile of laundry.
Oh, you kind of smell a little bit?
That too, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we just had Randy Riles on the show with Royal LePage. He's out in the Tri-Cities area where you work and live and have some fun and sell real estate. What's going on out there this week?
Yeah, it's been, again, we were talking about the rate increase. I haven't really seen that be too much of an issue. I just had a condo we listed last week, and it went multiples, 5 offers. We got one of the top record-breaking prices in terms of dollar per square foot for our sellers, so they're really happy. Lots of activity on my Belcare, even in the higher price point. I'm still getting showings and lots of good interest.
Yeah.
Like I showed 220 Turtlehead 4 times last week, and we're listed at 4.5 million.
Wow.
So that's a good indicator. You know, there are people out there. The money's there. We're generating great interest. I had a second showing on a $1.9 million property. Looks like these buyers will be writing an offer. Interesting, though, I am starting in this one little area that I'm working in, Belcare, the Pocket. We do have an offer accepted subject to sale. So now I'm seeing kind of in the over 1.5 range, you have an opportunity to take your time a little bit more.
Okay.
So it's not like prices have come down. It's just it's nicer for the buyer. They can take their time, do an inspection.
More relaxing.
Yeah, have a potential, as much as you can relax in real estate, but
Yeah.
they have the potential to, now have the opportunity to sell before they make the purchase versus the other way. It was so scary. People were buying properties and then putting their home on the market after, and you could get caught. Let's just say anything could happen. You want to own 2 homes.
Or you could be carrying 2 mortgages.
It's scary.
Or you have no home.
I know. So I prefer a bit of a more of, we call it normal or more balanced. I think, that would be, it's nicer for buyers.
Yeah, I think you're right. And there's too much stress because what happens is you don't do the due diligence you're supposed to do. I mean, when it was so hot there earlier in the year, all the home inspectors were not doing anything because they didn't require them as part of the selling features of the home. So there's a lot of problems with buyers not getting their due diligence done so they can be protected.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that the people were buying property without having it inspected first?
Absolutely.
Really?
They were.
Is that because they had to?
The only way people were winning multiple offers, subject free, all cash, bank draft in hand, plus the story, plus the good realtor. I mean, it was just so competitive.
Crazy.
That's okay
No appraisal.
That's okay if I'm selling. What if I'm buying though? Then it's
Taking a poke.
Yeah, I guess. We talk about the Tri-Cities. We talk about all those wonderful high-priced homes that you have. What about something for the first-time buyers? Is there entry-level?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, again, more of the first-time home buyers now, their choices are leaning towards the condo living townhomes. We have some new developments coming up in Burke Mountain. You can find new homes there. Out by Costco now. Mosaic is doing lots of new developments out that way.
Do you have a new Costco?
Yeah, there's a Costco. We have
Where?
a Costco. Come on. We have a Costco.
Really?
Yeah, right?
Gosh.
What, you got some money? You want to buy me something?
No. But
We have a Costco. We have
Superstore?
Walmart now. There's a whole big Fremont Village development.
Really?
It's fantastic.
You know what? I really haven't seen it.
It actually kind of does remind me of a bit of a big development kind of out of the States. It's really neat. Lots of brand new stores and shopping and the big kind of outlet stuff. So
Is that
you've
up
got
near
home
Burke
out-
Mountain area, like up in that area?
It's just all the low heat, actually, just as you leave Port Coquitlam.
Oh, in that area there, just
Yeah.
off the bridge.
So
Okay,
they've
I know
got
you are.
lots coming up in that area. And
You guys
that's-
got some great bike trails and
we
some
do.
great trails for
so
people
from
who
there,
want to
you
stay
can
fit.
access the dikes and go right along out to Pitt Meadows.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's where it was. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's a fabulous
It is.
area.
It really is. So lots of young
Well,
families
you can go all
are,
the way from Maple Ridge all the way up to Coquitlam by bike.
for sure.
Pardon me?
Bike riding.
You can ride your bike from where to where?
Maple Ridge to the
Bill,
on these paths.
Bill can ride a bike?
Well, I didn't say I personally.
Oh, I see.
You as a person.
Gotcha.
Can.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Andrea,
There's some
if
nice
somebody would
parts.
like to talk to you more about the Tri-Cities, how can they get a hold of you during the week?
Yeah, they can call 604-783-3124. That's 604-783-3124. Or visit pinnaclegrouprealestatemarketing.com. That's pinnaclegrouprem.com.
You almost forgot your own website,
I
didn't you? Yeah. It's like, what's your phone number?
I've done that.
I don't know. What's your phone number? I don't know. I never call myself. Well, coming up in the show, we got some more talk about real estate. Bill's got something very interesting to be talking
So
about
we're
soon.
going to talk. So there's a lot of chatter going on about the rates and all this stuff that we just talked with Janine. And so we're going to have a little kind of like a 101 on interest rates and what this means in terms of us as consumers.
Going back to high school, interest rates 101.
Probably maybe junior high.
Okay.
This is Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing with Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, producer Dwayne Bishop, and Tom Lucas. You're listening to Vancouver's original on-air open house, Radio Real Estate on CIL 650.
CIL 650.
Andrea says there's a house for sale, but apparently there's a lack of houses, no?
There is. We need more
Single-family homes.
Single-family home, condos too.
Really?
Townhouses, everything. We
Really?
need more of everything.
We need everything.
We need more of everything.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not easy out there.
I
No,
guess
it's
the
not.
thing is, people are saying, I hear this a lot, well, if I sell, where am I going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Unless they're downsizing. The people downsizing in this market are winning.
Yeah, but there's no choices. I mean, I remember we had a realtor who had a client come in from England as a doctor, and he had $1.5 million going to buy a house. And the realtor said, well, here's one here, and here's one here. Which one do you like?
Which one would you like?
He says, isn't there a choice? Like, can't I drive around? Well, not if you're going to be a doctor and live in this area here. These are the only two.
You know,
Wow.
I was talking to a realtor a little while ago, and he said if he could sell your house like that, no problem.
Yeah.
But then if you're an older person, where the heck do you go?
Well, that's why we kind of talked about people moving, out of Belcarre. I have the older people that have lived there for 50 years. Now they're going to other places like, over on the island or up to Whistler.
Yeah,
or,
a lot of people going to the island.
A lot of people going to the island for sure. The
Or
ferry
Montreal,
traffic's
Courtney.
crazy now.
Or going to Montreal. It's cheap in Montreal, I hear.
Yeah, I got a lot going to Montreal here.
Comment ça va? See, I can go there. What?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Sunshine Coast is also on fire too.
Yes.
It is, but I think once you're there, you're there. You're not coming back.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Once you sell here, like I have a client and their brother,
Oh yeah, you told
the
us.
wife would talk him into moving to Saskatchewan to go to her family. And now he's crabbing because he now knows that there's no way he can come back.
I have a family member that's out in Chilliwack, as you know, and
Yes.
they'll never be moving back.
No.
Not unless somebody kicks the bucket and leaves them a whole ton of money.
You going soon?
No.
Oh, good.
No, I didn't
Glad to
plan
hear
it.
that.
No. Hey, Bill, I got a special song for you. Listen to this. Yeah, most definitely. We're living in a material world. The Bank of Canada raised the rates this past week, and I got a question for you, Bill. They've raised the rates. Where's the extra bread going?
Banks.
Okay, goodbye. I'm going to the bank.
If the banks get, as we were talking with Janine earlier, the last two times when they dropped the rate by a quarter point, and banks only gave us 15% of that 25.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. So how this all works? Let me just kind of give you a little bit of a one-on-one. So there's two types of mortgages. You have either a variable rate mortgage or you have a fixed rate mortgage.
Right.
So let's do the fixed rate because that's the easiest one to talk about first. A fixed rate mortgage means that the bank has gone into the market and they buy money from the bond market, which is a stock market, and then they book it for 5 years. So when they give you the money for 5 years, it's solid. That rate's not going to change. If you had a 2.59 or in today's market a 2.75 rate, regardless of what happens with the market and the economy, that rate stays constant for the 5 years that you have it. So you don't get impacted. So if you had let's say today, 2.75 rate, starts today, 1st of August, you have it until 2022. So you do not have to worry about increase in payments, increase in interest rates. you have no worries. That's why a lot of people use a fixed rate. And that's why we recommend for first-time home buyers, they should have a fixed rate on that first time around until they get used to the whole process.
So that way you know what your expenses are each month, right?
Exactly. You're fixed. There's no problem. So to kind of give you an idea where fixed rates are today, so in December, they were at this level. They kind of bellied down a little bit over the last couple of months. They've now come back up. We're exactly where we were 6 months ago. So anybody that's looking at buying a home and is going to be using a fixed rate, you are safe. There's no panic in the street, so to speak. So relax, make sure you got your pre-approvals, get them in, and then go buy the home. You call Andrea and go find it.
All right. Now, what about if somebody has a variable rate mortgage?
If you have a variable rate mortgage, this is tied in with the Bank of Canada. Now, the Bank of Canada, and this Gene and I were getting a little bit of that, but didn't get into it deep enough. The Bank of Canada uses the prime rate, the Bank of Canada rate, to control the economy. So if the economy is doing really badly, they start dropping the Bank of Canada rate. So, for example, Americans, their bank, have gone down to zero and have been zero for 7 years.
Wow.
And then the banks tack on a 2% profit margin. So therefore, the banks have their prime at 2. So ours was a 0.5 Bank of Canada rate. So then the banks tack on their 2% for their profit. They have to make a profit. We want them to be solid.
Sure.
So they're charging 2.5. So that's where that prime comes from. So that's the Bank of Canada prime, and then you add on your 2%. So then now that's your local bank's prime rate at 2.5. Except they didn't give us a discount, so it's 2.7. So I'm a little crabby there, but it's the prime is 2.7 right now. So then what happens is that your different lenders will give you a discount, and they give you a discount on the prime, and it can range from 0.2 to 0.85. And so if you get into a variable rate, you look at what you're going to be paying, and that discount is what gives it to you. So when you're starting to see an increase in rates like this, you have two choices. You can either lock in at a 2.75, even though you might have a 2.2 variable rate mortgage, or you can say to yourself, okay, I'm going to make my payments at the 2.2 rate as if I had a 2.75 rate. So I'm actually paying an extra half point on my mortgage, and I'm paying my mortgage down that much faster. So rather than giving it to the banks, we're going to take your money, you're actually paying yourself to pay down your mortgage.
Now, Billy, if somebody would like to talk to you during the week, can they give you a call at the office?
Absolutely. They please do that. That's 604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
Now, here comes the hard part. What's your website?
That's BillyMac.com. Billy with an I, not a Y, MAC.com.
Okay, let me try that. That's Billy with an I, not a Y, MAC.com. Fantastic. And your telephone number again, 604?
684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
All right, Finn Jensen will be here in just a couple of seconds. He's coming down from the roof. He's going to talk about real estate and fire.
Whoa. Wow, that's good. So this is Bill Macklem, president of Dominion Macklem Mortgages, along with Andrea Jock of Pinnacle Group Real Estate Marketing, our producer, Dwayne Bishop, and Tom Lucas. You're listening to Radio Real Estate on CL 650.
CL 650. I'm fixing a hole where the rain gets in and stops my mind from wandering. I'm feeling the cracks that ran through the door and kept my mind from wandering.
That's one thing I like about Finn Jensen. He's always working forward. He's always working ahead. He's fixing a hole in the roof so the rain doesn't come in. He's probably thinking September around here, eh? Finn, what's going on this morning?
Good afternoon, Tom, and good afternoon, everyone. It would be in the poorest of taste to begin this little talk of homes and real estate without a first mention of the devastation and displacement of fellow citizens in the BC interior. The terror and damage visited upon them is not unlike the blaze in Fort Mac, Alberta, and now also happening in California and Europe. Families turned off their properties in this violent act of nature will recover and rebuild, and the land too will recover when the rains fall and the soil absorbs the ash. The rest of us who are safe will offer help to those made homeless with gifts of needed items, will be remembered for the generosity and kindness, but they will need more help, and they won't have to ask. Shortly, agencies involved will begin soliciting individuals and larger groups for contributions, and the government too will accept the financial burden of fighting the fires and countless other things expected from them. Big thank yous to the pilots and all firefighters who risk their lives each day. This is Finn Jensen for Radio Real Estate, Talk to you next week.
Thank you, Finn, for your seasonal maintenance. Call FinTech Mechanical Installations, 778-378-2740. That's 778-378-2740. And ask to speak with Finn. He's, I think he was a firefighter in another life.
I think so. Like that, he is absolutely right. You know, giving credit to all those firefighters out there. Like we've seen some documentary on some of the fires they've had. Holy Dinah.
God.
No, good stuff. Listen, before we go, you got a listing you want to share with us.
I do. I have a beautiful renovated 2,200 square foot home in Belcarra, 3825 Bevel Bay Road. Now, this home has been completely updated with beautiful modern finishings. There's a gorgeous tile fireplace. Really cool little house. It's on an 18,000 square foot lot. And my seller works for Art Knapp. So this property, the landscape's gorgeous.
Oh, bad.
You could have like a wedding back there. And it comes with a dock share.
You're getting married?
Not me. Somebody could have a wedding.
Oh, somebody could have a wedding.
Did you say this home has a dock?
A dock share.
Oh, so they share a dock.
They share a dock. So you can have your boat, go crabbing and...
I don't mind sharing the dock with Bill. Do you want to share the dock,
I don't
Bill?
mind. And you know what? We're going to get Mark to give us an idea of how we're going to put the service on the dock.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Before we go, let's get a couple of phone numbers. Andrea, what's your number?
604-783-3124.
Okay, the number again?
604-783-3124.
And Billy?
604-684-4663. That's 604-684-HOME.
So if you want to talk about money, you call Bill. If you want to talk about real estate and properties, you call Andrea, right?
That's right.
And if you want to
Please
talk
do.
music, give me a call tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock right here at CIL 650. Dwayne, thank you so much. Bill, thank you. Andrea, thank you. And thank you for everybody who's listening to the program.
Yes.
And once again, thank you to the firefighters out there.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Have a great
definitely.
afternoon.
Thank
Doing
you.
a great job. Enjoy yourself, and we'll talk to you all again next Sunday on CIL 650. Thank you. Bye.